Hi, my name is Barrington Miller, and I'm with the Canadian Securities Exchange, Director of Issuer Engagement. Today's episode is for Earth Day, and today I'm here with Juan Carlos Giron from EnviroGold Global Limited. I should have gotten this because we just literally did a newly listed clip. But we're not here to talk about KPIs and returns and stock price, share price, investors, not entirely. We're here to discuss things that are important to our planet and celebrating Earth Day. So thank you for joining. Thank you for coming on this show. This is our first sort of format like this, but can you tell our audience what it is your company does?
Thanks, Barrington. So EnviroGold Global is a clean technology company committed to accelerating the world's transition to a circular resource economy by producing metals without mining. We reprocess mine waste, also known as tailings, to recover precious, critical, and strategic metals, while also reducing the environmental footprint of legacy mine waste. There's about 300 billion metric tons of mine tailings around the world, about $3.4 trillion worth of unrecovered metals residing in mine tailings. And so we reprocess the mine tailings, we remediate them, we leave every site better than we found it, and we expect to generate substantial free cash flow and returns for our shareholders. But obviously today, the focus is on the environment.
I'm going to ask you to dumb it down for me and maybe somebody else out there. A company goes in and they mine for, we'll just say, gold. During that process, there's what we would consider waste. And this is where your company comes in, looks at that waste, takes it. You have a process. Is it a proprietary one, or is it one that's commonly used in order to extract the metals from that waste, as well as cleaning up the mine site? Is that sort of what goes on?
Yeah, so let me explain a little bit further by telling you a story about our Buckens project.
Yes, please.
So I'll start with sort of the end of your question first. So we take a site-specific approach. We use what we call a best-of-breed approach that combines proprietary technology with state-of-the-industry and other proven technology. So in the case of our Buckens project, there, a company called Asarco from 1928 to about 1986 mined about 6 million tons of a polymetallic ore in the Buckens region. Now, unfortunately for the environment, from about 1928 to about 1968, the solid byproduct of that mineral processing, the tailings, were dumped directly into the Buckens River. So they flowed into the Buckens River. They created a massive deltaic tailings deposit, basically polluting a salmon spawning ground. Those tailings are essentially leaching heavy metals into the environment. Now, not only did that legacy mining generate some significant environmental liabilities for the company that processed that waste, or that ore, I should say, but they also left a substantial amount of metal unrecovered. This is a polymetallic ore, which means it has gold, silver, as well as lead, copper, zinc in this case. That original mining company was essentially getting lead and zinc, very little of the copper, very little of the gold, very little of the silver. So we believe there's substantial quantities of gold and silver remaining in these mine tailings, and our operation will actually go in, take these tailings out of the environment where they're currently leaching heavy metals into a salmon spawning ground. We'll reprocess the tailings, recover significant quantities of gold and silver, and then we'll take those tailings and we'll place them into an existing tailings storage facility, which essentially encapsulates them and protects them and keeps them from being exposed to the environment. So it's really a fantastic example of doing good to do well.
And you're not only affecting, what I love about your story is you're not only affecting, say, the cleanup of the area, you're affecting wildlife, you're affecting water, you're affecting people's livelihood that could potentially be around it. And it's you've talked about that, your ecosystem. Can you explain just a little bit more on how beautiful it is and how it works together?
Yeah, absolutely. And to your point, it really is about leaving a lasting environmental legacy. So, this salmon spawning ground that's been contaminated by these tailings for decades, it's a critically important salmon spawning ground. It's a recreational area. So we're literally able to go in there, we're able to make it better for future generations. What's also important, and you touched on this a little bit, is that S component of ESG, right? So the S being the social impact. In addition to creating positive social impact by cleaning up a public resource, we're also generating significant economic opportunities for an area that hasn't seen a lot of economic opportunities in the last several decades. So we think that the results of this project will be a lasting environmental legacy as well as a lasting social legacy that we'll be very proud of.
Juan, I just want to say thank you on behalf of the Canadian Securities Exchange. If people wanted to find out more information about you, your company, and your projects, of course, not only for environmental purposes, but for trading and what we do in the capital markets, where would they be able to find that information?
Yeah, thanks, Barrington. So people can, of course, go to our website, EnviroGoldGlobal.com. We're an active company. We're lean and mean. We're hitting a lot of milestones, and we expect some significant catalysts in the near term that we'll be announcing. We keep up great news flow, so our press releases are always a great source. Those are posted to our website. Our corporate presentation is posted to our website. And of course, Barrington, the Canadian Securities Exchange, contains all of our information related to the stock and our filings. So I would definitely direct people there as well.
Thank you so much on behalf of the Canadian Securities Exchange, not only for your listing, but more importantly, for what it is you do to make this world a better place. I've been your host, Barrington Miller, and this has been a special Earth Day episode 2022.